One Tifa there. I think we got rid of one Tifa there, yeah. Mazemind Tome also really nice, but yeah, let's just go with Deadly Cover-Up. And we need 6 mana. That's 6 right there. So you have no more Tifas in your deck, and we're going to get rid of your Traveling Chocobo. So no more Traveling Chocobos, no more Tifas. Yeah, no more Tifas. It's just this tiny kind of trash Chocobo right there. No way of giving your creatures +1/+1. So I think we got it done. We removed all his threats. We can also just make those fish tokens turn after turn. Spring Bloom Druid. Sack some lands, find some lands. Fine by me, buddy. And then Tragic Trajectory. He will just use a Snakeskin Veil. So let's go with Mazemind Tome. And then, can we draw with it? No, because then we can't create the fish token. Counters, counters. You know what? I am going to draw with it. Ooh, Painful Quandary is nice. Painful Quandary is nice. Yeah, now we just need to look for our Nowhere to Run so that the hexproof doesn't matter. Put a counter on that creature. Alright, another Fountainport is really nice. No, let's do it like this. Well, but then we won't have enough. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Alright, here comes Painful Quandary. If you want to play any cards, you'll have to start discarding. You will have to start discarding, my friend. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to another MTG Arena Standard video. The title of today's deck is Professional Lobotomy because we will be dicing and slicing and dissecting the opponent with these 3 key cards. We have Ancient Vendetta for 4 mana, choose a card name, search the opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for 4 of those cards and exile them. The End, also for 4 mana, exile a target creature or planeswalker, and then you get to search the opponent's graveyard, hand, and library and exile the other copies of that creature that you target. And Deadly Cover-Up, you guys may know this card. For 5 mana, you wipe the board. You can also collect Evidence 6, and if you do that, you get to select a card from the opponent's graveyard and then remove 3 copies of that card from their graveyard, hand, or library, as well. So the whole point of today's deck is these 3 cards here, and we will be picking apart the opponent's deck by taking out their key. And it's primarily creatures that this deck is really good at interacting with. Of course, a lot of opponents try and get creatures on the board and attack your life total down, but we will be removing every single creature in their deck so they don't have anything to attack us with. And that's the key strategy that we're going with today. It's a lobotomy. We're taking out the key pieces from the opponent's deck. And you could say, well, maybe they have a creature land that they can attack with. That's where Demo Field comes into play. You can destroy a target land, which is really, really nice. And then since all of these cards do cost 4 mana, it is a little bit later in the game than when you can start playing these. So in the early game, we have a bit of removal with Tragic Trajectory. Target creature gets -2/-2. Nowhere to Run. Hexproof and Ward abilities don't trigger on your opponent's creature. You can flash this in and give a creature -3/-3. Shoot the Sheriff is destroy a non-outlaw creature. And yeah, that's it for the early game removal. So a little bit of creature removal. So when they do play their creatures, we can, maybe get a key creature in the graveyard. And then later when we do Deadly Cover-Up, we can remove that creature from their graveyard and then also look at their hand and library. So yeah, a little bit of removal. We also have a little bit of hand hate with the Cruelclaw Heist. For 2 mana, we can gift a card, and then when we do that, we get to look at the opponent's hand and remove a card from their hand, so might want to take a creature from them. And then Intimidation Tactics for 1 mana, target opponent reveals their hand, and then we get to choose either an artifact or creature, and that's probably what we want to get rid of, and then exile it from them as well. We do have a little bit of card draw and scrying action with a Candy Trail for 1 mana. You get to scry 2. You can also sack this to gain 3 life and draw a card. Mazemind Tome, get this down for 2 mana, and then you can either scry or draw a card with it until you have 4 page counters on it. Then you get rid of the Mazemind Tome and you gain 4 life. And we also have Hymn of the Faller for 2 mana. We get to surveil 1 and then draw a card. We do lose 1 life for doing that. So that's kind of the early game plays. Hopefully we can remove a lot of stuff from the opponent's hand, graveyard and library, the key pieces at least, in the mid game. And then in the late game, how we close out games is either with Ashiok, the Wicked Manipulator, a planeswalker that I promise you guys have probably never seen this planeswalker unless you've been playing for a while, but it's a really, really fringe planeswalker for 5 mana. Her +1 ability, we can look at 2 cards, and then we choose one to exile and one of them to put in our hand. So you do need to be a little bit careful because you might think like, oh, I want to take this card and put it in my hand, but the card you click on will be exiled. Her -2 ability, we get to create 2 1/1 Nightmare tokens, so can use that as some blockers. And then if we can work our way up to her -7, the target player will exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the total mana value of cards that we own in exile. So hopefully, you know, we have 9, 10 mana of cards in exile, then we can mill the opponent for 9 or 10. And guys, remember with these cards as well, this is also a little bit of a milling effect as well. Each of these can mill for 4 each. So yeah, we can drain the opponent out that way and have their library be drained out, so they'll lose the game either by milling themselves out. And then we also have Ugin, Eye of Storms for 7 mana. We can use his ability when we cast him to exile something, which is really nice. And then we can use his +2 ability to gain 3 life and draw a card. And then finally, I'm playing with 1 copy of Painful Quandary. I do really like this enchantment. For 5 mana, it comes down, and whenever the opponent casts a spell, any type of spell, creature, artifact, enchantment, they either lose 5 life or they will have to discard a card. Hopefully when it gets into the late game, if it's not, you know, a blue deck that's drawing a ton of cards, oftentimes people will kind of be in top deck mode, especially with some of these discard effects that we have as well. So then anytime that they would want to play a card, they would have to pay 5 life. So yeah, that is what we're going with today. Let's just jump into some games and see if we can lobotomize some opponents. I'll see you guys there. All right, guys, we get to go first, and I will keep this hand. Going first is quite nice. The Sunken Citadel, I mean, they do come in tapped, which is unfortunate, but it does provide 2 mana for our Fountainports, which can be quite nice. And we at least have Tragic Trajectory this turn to get rid of their Iridescent Vine Lasher. So yeah, we will for sure remove that one. Could be a Lizard deck. Could be the Lizard deck. Next turn we could go with Mazemind Tome. And the turn after that, we could hit them with the end on, I mean, that Gecko. Not the most important creature, but Mazemind Tome into a Candy Trail is quite nice. Land on top and a Deadly Cover-Up. I don't think you can ask for 2 better cards, so we will keep that for sure. And then, yeah, next turn, I think we just go for the end. But it does also depend. Maybe we just draw a card with Mazemind Tome. Opponent's just punching us for 2. Oh, that's when this card enters if an opponent lost life. So, yeah, honestly, we might just wait for him to deploy some more creatures. He's going to draw and discard. Is he going to get down another creature? The Iridescent Vine Lasher. Honestly, I'm fine with it. I think what we're going to do, we are just going to put a page counter on this one and draw a card. And then we can get down this Mazemind Tome. We can go ahead and scry on the opponent's turn, and we can hit them with the Deadly Cover-Up next turn. I know it is a lot nicer if you can collect evidence. Excuse me. Big sneeze. Opponent pings us for 1, and they attack for 3 damage. That's fine. I can live with it. going to draw and discard. So he gets rid of another Flame Gecko. And yeah, I'm really not too worried about that creature. Kind of hope he plays another creature, and then Deadly Cover-Up will be quite nice, but he's not going to, so let's just put a page counter. I don't think we need another land. I mean, we have 3 black. Yeah, we'll be up to 5, so, you know, I wanted to put a stop right there. 4. That will put Deadly Cover-Up up to 5. We've seen 2 of these, and we've seen 2 of these. You know what we maybe do? Honestly, maybe I'm just going to sack Candy Trail, draw a card. Ancient Vendetta. I think I'm just going to draw a card with Mazemind Tome. I mean, when we get these up to 4 mana, we'll be able to gain 4 life as well. We're only down to 17, so... I mean, I guess he can discard a card and draw a card. He gets rid of another Flame Gecko, so I don't think we need to get rid of that creature when we exile them with a Deadly Cover-Up. Opponent pops us for 2. And he just attacks with these 2 creatures? What on earth is this guy holding on to? Let's scry with this one. You know what? I will keep a Tragic Trajectory. We can get rid of his 2/2. Maybe get rid of his Iridescent Vine Lasher. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Iridescent Vine Lasher. And then... I don't want to use the end on that creature. You know what? Let's just scry twice, and we'll keep open the end. Hopefully he plays a creature next turn. Ashiok is a really nice card. And let's get both these Mazeminds up to 3, because next time we scry with them, we'll be able to gain 4 life off both of them, which is 8 life, so we'll be back up to 21. So yeah, I'm really not too worried. And then this turn, we can hit one of his creatures with the end. Exile the top 2. Yeah, let's just get rid of this creature right now. Don't want him looking at any extra cards or anything like that. So let's see what you're working with. So Shoot the Sheriff doesn't get rid of our Planeswalker. Laughing Jasper Flint is a really important card. We might name that one next turn. Thoughtstalk Warlock is a pretty good creature for them. And he's playing with Gev. Does have quite a few lizards. The Hired Claw. 2 more Iridescent Vine Lashers. I think we're going to name Laughing Jasper next turn. Well, that one does cost 3 mana. Maybe we'll just exile it with Deadly Cover-Up. Well, no, he doesn't have any black mana. So I think Ancient Vendetta. Yeah, I think we're just gonna name Laughing Jasper. I'm not too worried about the Hired Claw. He can't put, well, yeah, he can do quite a bit of damage with that one. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna go with Deadly Cover-Up. We will collect evidence. Yeah, we can do it like that. That's 6. We'll get rid of the Hired Claw, because that Gecko I'm really not too worried about. Yeah, we'll get rid of the Hired Claw. I think that's a little bit more important than the Iridescent Vine Lasher. So yeah, Thoughtstalker Warlock, Laughing Jasper, 1 Gecko, which again, I'm not worried about. Gev is a pretty good creature, and the Iridescent Vine Lasher. So 4 creatures if I count correctly. 4 creatures if I count correctly. And then, yeah, let's just go ahead and scry. Be able to gain 4 life. Intimidation Tactics. Don't think we need that because he's probably playing this creature next turn. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and gain 4 life again. Ooh, Duress. I mean, I guess he gets rid of the end. That does suck because I was hoping to hit Laughing Jasper with that one. So he could also get rid of our Ashiok, though. Ooh, Deadly Cover-Up. I mean, I'll keep it, yeah. I will keep it. If he does get rid of the end, then maybe with Ancient Vendetta, we'll go ahead and name... Well, this is a legendary creature, right? At the beginning of your upkeep. Honestly, this might seem like a little bit of a waste, but I'm just going to go for this now. What does he say? Exile the top X cards of the opponent's library. Yeah, I don't want you doing that, buddy. It's me who's taking stuff away from your deck. So, yeah, Laughing Jasper's gone, and now I'm really not worried about kind of any... Oh, no. Oh, I thought I couldn't look at his library. I mean, the Thoughtstalker Warlock is probably pretty annoying. Gev, also kind of annoying. He has no creature lands. So Thoughtstalker, Gev, and the Iridescent Vine Lasher, and I guess one Flame Gecko, but I'm not worried about that one. So, and I think we can just go ahead and name Gev next turn. If he didn't draw him, yeah, we could have named Gev, and then the turn after that, if he didn't draw another creature, even if he did, again, we could just go with another Ancient Vendetta just because we're not really under any pressure, so GG. All right, guys, we got to go first, Tragic Trajectory, and then we have all 3 of the cards we need, so I'll keep it. Fountainports, I mean, we do need double black pips for a few of our cards, but I think we'll find our cards when we need them. Sunken Citadel is a really nice draw. Let's just go with black, and I will go ahead and get rid of the elf right now. The extra mana it can provide can be quite important. If it's the green landfall deck, then, of course, you wish to hit something else, but it doesn't look to be green landfall, so that is quite nice. And here's where Sunken Citadel is really nice. We can go ahead and activate the Fountainport right away because this can add 2 mana, so we'll have 3 mana to work with. So we can go ahead and create the fish token after the opponent attacks. And I don't know how important getting rid of their Insidious Fungus will be, so I don't think we need to use the end just yet. Opponent could be playing with Ouroboros. That's what I think. Draw a card. That's fine. Another Deadly Cover-Up is really nice, so we will just hold for right now. And we'll go ahead and say no attacks, end the turn. Does the opponent want to do something? It could be a Into the Flood Maw. No, he's just going to sack that and draw a card. Help him ramp a little bit if he did draw a land, but he didn't, so a little bit of a waste, but I'm not complaining. Oh, an opponent gives it up. Yikes, that's a little bit unfortunate. I think he was maybe hoping to hit a land. I think he's trying to ramp quite a bit. It honestly could be a Smuggler Surprise deck. I think getting rid of their elf as well. I don't think they were too happy about that. So, yeah, GG. All right, guys, we got to go first, but this is way too of an expensive hand, so we'll ship that one back. Honestly, I'm going to get rid of Mazemind Tome. Excuse me. We'll go with black right there. Green, honestly, the green landfall deck is nearly impossible for us to beat just because they have so many creatures that they just deploy way too quickly. All right, well, at least he won't have a Snakeskin Veil available. I don't get why you didn't play your Forest, first of all. That's really, really strange play from the opponent. He's going to play Tifa. We know that. Maybe he actually saves Tifa. No, they just run it out like they always do. Do hit the land drop, which is amazing. Get rid of Tifa before he gets Snakeskin Scale. I keep wanting to say Snakeskin Scale, but it's Snakeskin Veil. And he has 2 of them. At least Deadly Cover-Up gets through everything. Oh, and we do find the land drop. Let's absolutely go. We're starting to cook this deck, which I am so happy about. I absolutely hate this deck. Bristly Bill, of course they have Mossborn Hydra. He has 1 more Tifa and all those Chocobos. So, yeah, I guess Mossborn Hydra is the next threat, but that Traveling Chocobo is also really annoying. I think we're going to name Mossborn Hydra with Ancient Vendetta, and then we can collect evidence when he deploys a few creatures. Yes, no Mossborn Hydra right there. Sunken Citadel can come in on black. Get rid of your trashy. Come on, deck, type for me, please. Mossborn Hydra. Used to be one of my favorite cards. I'm just so sick of seeing this card now. All right, get rid of that trash from your deck. Opponent's going to crack the land, play the Traveling Chocobo. And then, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Deadly Cover-Up can remove that creature. He did still have a Tifa, which we need to worry about. He has no more Bristly Bills. Land for us is not what we want. I think we can create the fish token, use it as a blocker. Can just do that turn after turn until he deploys a pretty big board, and then Deadly Cover-Up will be quite nice. It is a Tifa. So I think we have to pull the trigger on this one right now, because next turn he can go the Spring Bloom Druid and just get so many counters. Well, we could also create the treasure token. Opponent does attack. Honestly, we really need to keep our life total as high as possible. So I will go ahead and block your Traveling Chocobo. One Tifa there. I think we got rid of one Tifa there, yeah. Mazemind Tome also really nice, but yeah, let's just go with Deadly Cover-Up. And we need 6 mana. That's 6 right there. So you have no more Tifas in your deck, and we're going to get rid of your Traveling Chocobo. So no more Traveling Chocobos, no more Tifas. Yeah, no more Tifas. It's just this tiny kind of trash Chocobo right there. No way of giving your creatures +1/+1, so I think we got it done. We removed all his threats. We can also just make those fish tokens turn after turn. Spring Bloom Druid. Sack some lands, find some lands. Fine by me, buddy. And then Tragic Trajectory. He will just use a Snakeskin Veil. So let's go with Mazemind Tome. And then, can we draw with it? No, because then we can't create the fish token. Counters, counters. You know what? I am going to draw with it. Ooh, Painful Quandary is nice. Painful Quandary is nice. Yeah, now we just need to look for our Nowhere to Run so that the hexproof doesn't matter. Put a counter on that creature. Alright, another Fountainport is really nice. No, let's do it like this. Well, but then we won't have enough. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Alright, here comes Painful Quandary. If you want to play any cards, you'll have to start discarding. You will have to start discarding, my friend. Snakeskin Veil. Alright, you got it. That puts a counter there. Gonna go with another Snakeskin Veil. Alright, you got it. We'll scry on the opponent's turn. End the turn. Alright, we'll take a beating this turn because he's gonna play the order. Get a counter. Gonna find some more lands. How many Deadly Cover-Ups have we used? We've only used one Deadly Cover-Up. Let's go. Opponent did discard. So we're taking 5 damage, so we'll be down to 12. And we can go ahead and scry. Oh, Nowhere to Run is, well, it's not perfect, but, well, at the same time it is. You don't have Snakeskin Veil, and even if you do have Snakeskin Veil, you'll have to discard your card, and Hexproof doesn't trigger anymore, so no creatures for the opponent, and now we can start using our Fountainports. So, actually, we're just going to draw right away with Mazemind Tome. Next turn, we'll gain 4 life. Found a Fountainport, which you can activate as well, which is really nice. So, I think we finally got there, guys. We just slowly constricted the life out of this deck, and I'm gonna do it to them. I am so tired of mono green landfall. Keep your backhand strong. Bap, get them out of here. GG. Oh, guys, I don't think we can keep this hand. I mean, we only have a turn 4 play, so that is a mulligan. This one we can keep. Ship back Ugin. We can ship back Ugin, and turn 1 we can go with an Intimidation Tactics, which will be quite nice. Take a look at what they're playing with, and it is a landfall deck. Dude, I cannot believe it. There is almost no originality in Standard, is what it feels like sometimes. I just played against a Simulacrum Synthesizer deck that was able to find Simulacrum Synthesizer on turn 3 into a Collected Battlefront on turn 4, and now we play against a landfall deck. Dude, Standard is a struggle bus sometimes, but GG. Alright guys, opponent goes first, but we do have quite a bit of removal into eventually the end, which can remove some of their key creatures. Authority of the Consuls, I literally do not care about that card at all. Opponent definitely on more of a control build. So, what to name with Ancient Vendetta? Hopefully he plays something right now. Ketramos, we can go ahead and exile that one. Could give it -2 and then give another one -2, but let's hold for right now. Ancient Vendetta, we might just name Ketramos since the opponent's not doing anything, and then we will be able to look at his deck. But you know what I want to do first? Let's well, let's wait. We'll pull off the end on their turn. This creature has no cards in exile. So yeah, opponent's not doing anything. So let's take a peek at your hand. He might be playing with great power comes great responsibility. Oh, opponent did not like that one bit. I wonder if maybe that was their only creature in their deck. Because, yeah, well, yeah, who knows what he's playing with. But, yeah, all it took was the end to literally just end the game. It's over. It's not rocket surgery, guys. All right, guys, we get to go first. 2 lands is really risky. Do have a Shoot the Sheriff and an Intimidation Tactics to at least get a peek at their hand. So I'll risk it, but this might come back to bite us. We do play with 25 lands in our deck, so should definitely hit our land drops. And I mean, a turn 1 Intimidation Tactics to at least look at their hand and remove any impactful creatures could help quite a bit. So let's do it. Let's see what we're playing against. Ooh, Collector's Cage. The Regal Bunnycorn is pretty good. Paw Patch is really good. Let's get rid of the Paw Patch. He probably plays the Bunnycorn on turn 2. We can shoot the Sheriff. Tragic Trajectory, also really nice. No, it's not instant speed. And yeah, we 100% need to hit our lands deck, please. I am begging you. Thank you. So Ancient Vendetta can go ahead and remove the Regal Bunnycorn. Might go with the Evangelist, though. Still will remove it. Oh, another Collector's Cage. Interesting, interesting. Okay, we do hit the land. We 100% will name the Evangelist, just because that one will leave a creature behind. So, oh, it's right there. Sanguine Evangelist. He's playing with a Through the Omen Path deck, so really cool. Moonshaker Cavalry, that's really scary. Overlord of the Huntwoods, also really scary. Little Elf and Paw. So really not that many creatures. Elf, ooh, the Resolute Reinforcements. We might name that one next turn. Overlord is also a really scary creature as well. Ooh. Alright, so Overlord of the Mistmoors and the Resolute Reinforcements, just because those provide extra tokens for him. Honestly, same with the Paw Patch Recruit. Yikes. We do have Deadly Cover-Up, though. Moonshaker Cavalry, I think, gives them haste. Let me check that card, actually. Moonshaker. Oh, an opponent scoops it up. That is so unfortunate. Let's see. Oh, but that's all creatures gain +X. So it's kind of like Craterhoof Behemoth. That creature itself doesn't gain haste, but all the other creatures on the battlefield will get +X for however many creatures he has. So, yeah. All right, let's think about this. I mean, while he doesn't have any green mana for his Paw Patch Recruit, maybe he would hit a green source, though. And then he could Offspring it, but then he still wouldn't have 3 creatures, and we could remove those with our Tragic Trajectory and shoot the Sheriff. So I think we were going to get there, yeah. But yeah, honestly, the token-producing creatures are kind of scary just because that makes the board go a little bit too wide. But I think we would have been able to get there, so GG. Hey there, neighbor, and welcome to the post-game wrap. Today we looked at the Lobotomy deck, where we just try and kind of neuter the opponent's deck by removing all of their key threats. And their key threats, I'm primarily talking about creature-heavy decks. I'll say this before we talk about the deck any further. This deck just folds to like mono-blue control, Azorius Mill, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Those decks just don't really deploy a lot of creatures, and even the creatures they do deploy, it kind of goes against our main strategy of Ancient. I guess Ancient Vendetta could technically name one thing from them, but the end, you have to target a creature, and again, like the Mill deck, they don't really play any creatures. Simulacrum Synthesizer deck, they don't really play any creatures. Of course, they create the tokens, but you don't get to exile anything from them. Deadly Cover-Up, yeah, you could remove something from their deck, but the chance that they actually have a Simulacrum Synthesizer in the graveyard is very, very small. So against those type of decks, you'll lose. And you also lose, I played against a few mono-red aggro decks. Honestly, the green landfall deck, that one can be kind of a struggle as well, just because if they deploy a lot of creatures really, really quickly, they can do a lot of damage to you. This deck, it does feel like you're playing from behind nearly every single game, which that honestly can be a really fun feeling sometimes when you know that you start to turn the tables, but oftentimes you'll also just know pretty quickly that it's like, well, I can't really deal with this. I played against a Boros player as well that was playing a ton of burn spells like Lightning Helix, Bolt Wave, Lightning Strike, Burst Lightning, and yeah, those you can't really interact with either. No way of removing those from your opponent's deck. So this deck does fold to a lot of decks out there, and like I said, it does feel like you're playing from behind even the games that you're in, but when you can turn the table and when you can start to lobotomize the opponent and take their key creatures away from them, that feels really, really good, and this deck is pretty good at it. I played a version of this deck, I think before I was making YouTube videos, because I'm still quite new to this, but there used to be a card, the Mind Stone. It did just recently rotate out of Standard. That was another really, really good card, and I think you could maybe benefit from one more piece of removal that's not necessarily creature specific. So again, the end, you have to target a creature, and then the creature that you target is the one that you have to remove, and same with Deadly Cover-Up. Normally you wipe the board, that their creatures go into their graveyard, and if you have collected evidence 6, then you can choose a card from their graveyard. Sure, you could choose like a Planeswalker, or like I said earlier, a Simulacrum Synthesizer if for whatever reason they have discarded that card, but most of the time it's a creature you're taking. So oftentimes, and Ancient Vendetta as well, you do really want to take creatures away from them. But yeah, like the End and Deadly Cover-Up are specific kind of only 2 creature cards. So you do really have to be playing against someone else who is playing a creature-heavy deck. And then, yeah, when you can start to lobotomize them, it is a really, really nice feeling. And I think a lot of the cards kind of help us achieve that. And then on our top end, Ashiok to kind of help you draw is quite nice. Painful Quandary, I absolutely love this card. I think we were able to get it down twice today. I don't know how much work it did, because I think most of the time, by the time it did come down, opponents were kind of out of creatures and stuff, so this might be a little bit more of a win more card in this type of deck, but I really like this card. I might try and build around this card in a future video. We'll have to see, though, because there's not much longer of this new set. Avatar set's coming out really soon, which I'm really hyped for. The Spider-Man set was honestly kind of a big letdown. But yeah, that's a video for a different day. And then I guess another top end card we have is Ugin, Eye of the Storms. Just such a good planeswalker. He is only a 1-of in our deck, but he can help you close out games as well. But yeah, oftentimes we actually didn't win the game by, having the opponent's life total go down to 0 or having them be milled out, because the games that you do win, opponents will just find it so annoying that you remove creature after creature after creature from their deck that they don't have anything left to play, that they'll oftentimes just scoop it up there. So yeah, your win con, it's not super well defined. I think it kind of is the mill strategy is maybe the main one, because again, with Ugin, we don't really have any powerful, if we do work our way up to his ultimate, we don't really have any great cards to find with Ugin's ultimate. I guess technically Painful Quandary could help you close out the game, but I mean, if the opponent has a creature that they want to play and they're empty-handed, they can just draw cards for a few turns and then eventually choose to play that creature. So I think your primary win con, of course, is just annoying the opponent to death so that they concede there. But if the opponents do choose to stick it out, like I said in the deck intro, I mean, with Ancient Vendetta, you're removing 4 copies. The End, you're removing 4 copies. And Deadly Cover-Up, hopefully if you have enough to collect Evidence 6, you're removing 4 copies as well. So that altogether is 12 copies of a card right there, just with 3 cards right there, and that's not even the full play set. Of course, later when you draw another Ancient Vendetta, you can remove another 4 cards from the opponent's deck. So in a way, it's kind of a mill deck. It's a really roundabout way for a mill deck, but that is, I think, your primary win con. If the opponents do choose to stick it out and they say, hey, show me what your actual win con is, it probably will be to mill the opponents out. But like I said, 99 out of 10 times, quick math for you guys right there, opponents will just concede because they just find it too annoying when you remove all their creatures. So yeah, that's the deck. It's the pro Lobotomy deck, professional Lobotomy. We definitely did that to a few opponents today. I hope you guys enjoyed the games, and if you made it this far into the video, please consider subscribing. It does help me out tremendously. Go ahead and leave a like and any comments down below of any decks that you'd like to see me play, and I'm just gonna end it like I always end it. I love you guys. Peace out.